Okay, so I'm going to do number 14 in their Chapter 1 review problems work packet that you received. So the first thing we're going to do is read the instructions. We've got a diagram, and apparently the measure of angle A is 43 degrees. I'll label that. Angle BCF is 90 degrees. Now one way you can highlight that is with a little square, or if you prefer, you may want to write out the measurement in this application. And it says that BE, so that's a segment, BE bisects angle ABC. Now bisect means to cut in half into two equal pieces. So the two equal pieces then are going to be angle 1 and angle 2. So I'm going to mark them with the same mark. And then I'm actually going to come over here to my answer key over here. I'm going to write that those two are the same so I don't forget that piece of information. Now I need to find a bunch of things. Angle 1, angle 2, angle 3, angle 4, and the sum of angles 5 and 6. So I'm going to continue to look at this triangle up here, triangle ABC, because I've got a lot of information about ABC. I know this angle for sure, I know this angle for sure, and then I do know that 1 and 2 are going to be the same thing. So I'm going to concentrate on triangle ABC for this moment. And the one thing I know about all triangles is that they add up to 180 degrees. Okay. Now what adds up to 180 degrees? Well, in this diagram that should be the measure of angle A plus the measure of angle B. Now I'm going to be careful about what I call this because there's several angles emanating from this point. So I'm going to call it ABC, the measure of angle ABC. And then I'm going to add this angle here, right, angle BCA. And there's some substitutions that I can do here. The measure of angle A is 43 degrees. I do not currently know what ABC is, so I'll leave that as it is. And then BCA, as we discussed, was 90 degrees. Okay. So let's see, 180 is equal to, let's see, 43 plus 90 is going to be 133 degrees. And this still comes down as an unknown. And then to get rid of the 133, what I'm going to do is subtract on both sides to get the measure ABC equals 47 degrees. Now, ABC is not listed as a measurement that we want to know, but we do know that the measure of ABC is composed of angle 1 plus angle 2. And we know that those two are equivalent. So I can go ahead and have 47 degrees to give me the measure of angle 1. Oops. Let's try that again. Measure of angle 1, which is equal to the measure of angle 2. And of course, 47 degrees divided by 2 gives me 23.5 degrees. I'm going to go ahead and add that to my list of answers. Okay. The next thing that they're asking for is angle 3. So I'm going to change color so you can follow along here. Maybe we'll use blue. And now I'm going to try, let's see if I can figure out the measure of angle 3. Do I know the measure of angle 3? Okay. Well, it seems that this was 43. We've now decided that this is 23.5. If I know two angles in a triangle, I can figure out the third. So that's triangle ABF. And that should be 43 degrees plus 23.5 degrees plus the measure of angle 3 should all add up to 180. So when I subtract 43 and 23.5 degrees away from 180, I'll be left with the measure of angle 3, which ends up being 113.5 degrees. I'll add that to my list. So now we know angle 3 is 113.5 degrees. Now I'm noticing at this point that I happen to realize that across from angle 3, it's not numbered, but angle EFD is considered a vertical angle with angle 3. And we know that vertical angles have the same measurement. So if this is 113.5, then this is 113.5. That might be useful later on. Alright, now they're still waiting for angle 4. Now what I notice about angle 4 is that it makes a straight angle with angle 3. What do we know about straight angles? Well, straight angles add up to, of course, 180 degrees. So next step I'll go ahead and do in red. Let's say that the measure of angle 3 plus the measure of angle 4 equals 180 degrees. We know that angle 3 is 113.5. 4 is what we're looking for. We're going to subtract the 113.5 from both sides. And we get that the measure of angle 4 is equal to 66.5 degrees. Okay. See if I can squeeze that in there. Just barely. 66.5 degrees I can add. Alright, so finally all I have left is this measure of angle 5 plus the measure of angle 6. Now there's actually a couple of ways to go about doing this. Okay. One thing that I can do, and let me change the color one last time. Let's try black. Oops. I can go ahead and acknowledge that I have another triangle here. Let's say triangle FED. This is bold, but hopefully you can read it even better. And we know that triangle FED should add to 180. And what's that going to be composed of? Well, that would be 113.5 degrees right here, plus the measure of angle 5 plus the measure of angle 6. Now that's what we're actually solving for, so all we have to do is subtract 113.5 again. And the measure of angle 5 plus the measure of angle 6 is actually going to be 66.5 degrees. Now that's kind of a familiar number. We just worked with that. Is that a coincidence? Well, actually in class we discussed the idea that the exterior angle off a triangle, so in this case I'm talking about triangle FED. Okay. And so here's FED highlighted for you. And angle 4 is actually built off F. So it's called an exterior angle. We notice that the exterior angle of a triangle is equal to the sum of the two other angles in that triangle. In this case, 5 and 6. The sum of 5 and 6 should add up to angle 4. So if you remember that, you can go ahead and just fill it in. If not, we had a quick way of solving for it.